Global Citizen Forum društvena je aktivistička platforma oko koje se okupljaju svetski lideri u politici, biznisu, ali i svim drugim sferama života. Tradicionalno se kroz predavanja i radionice održava u Ujedinjenim Arapskim Emiratima. Ove godine na forumu je bila i ekipa TV Organizator je Armand Arton, koji nam je kazao zašto je glavna tema ovogodišnjeg foruma metamorfoza, promjena koja se dešava u svima nama da bismo se prilagodili svetu koji se oko nas menja.
We heard a lot of great ideas, fantastic analysis, inspiring speeches during this forum. But you talked to every single extraordinary speaker of this year's Global Citizen Forum. What are your key findings?
First of all, thank you for being here. We're very happy to have Montenegro media reflecting this event. As you know, in 2017 we were in Sveti Stefan, where we believe that we brought a little bit our topic of global citizenship to Montenegro. So this is a continuation. It's true that this year the forum it's focusing on a little different aspect of what we normally talk about. Policy, governance, migration. This year we talk about ourselves. And the idea that we can change the world if we don't change ourselves is really the driving thread between all the speakers. From gurus, as you know, to yogis, musicians, game changers. We believe that they will give the tools necessary for every person who is in the forum and outside watching us to believe in themselves, and that the change starts with ourselves. If we want to change the society, being a head of state, being a head of a company, we can have an immense impact. But first we have to be well, we have to be happy, and we have to be centralized, balanced, and this is what about this year forum is.
Can we be happy in this world?
It is getting more difficult to be happy. After pandemic, war, more migration, climate change is not getting better, economic crisis, interest rates that will affect, of course, world development, and as Nouril Rubini mentioned, could be worse than what we have seen in the past. But all this is things produced by ourselves. So it's all negative things produced by human people. So we believe that the only people who can reverse this, it's us. There's nobody else who's going to come and save us. So if we don't start saving ourselves by creating the right policy, changing the leaders, the generational change in leadership around the world with younger generation, I think will create this new way of running the world.
As you mentioned, one of your businesses concerns economic citizenships. There is ongoing debate in EU as well as in Montenegro about some dilemmas regarding this topic. Here in Emirates, they are thinking to enable it. You are well experienced in this topic. How do you see those dilemmas about economic citizenship?
We're very involved in the conversation. As you know, we have in the room a member of the European Parliament, Vice President of the European Commission. We're having constant exchanges in Brussels about it. I mean, this industry has really spectacularly grown in the last 20 years. And as every industry that grows that fast, attracts attention and needs regulation. So we believe that it's absolutely necessary for this industry to survive, to be transformed. So the same way as we're talking about transformation in this forum, we believe the industry needs to be transformed. And this is what actually the recommendations of the Parliament were. Some programs need to be modified, due diligence should be standardized. And many companies who are not regulated or having really no any compliance procedures shouldn't be allowed. So they have to be barriers of entry to this industry. Now we have taxi drivers promoting things, so that's a sign when things goes bad. But I believe that in Montenegro, as a citizens, you have seen the development in the north. I think there are believed to be more than 7 hotels that are being built or being continuously now built that would have never happened without the program. So the south is always been a destination of preference, but you know, this is what the program was built in order to attract investments and create jobs in the north. And I believe that we're not done yet. So I think that the Montenegro government should fight to have at least the commitment of 2,000 applications since the program was launched to be finished in order for these hotels to be finalized and the jobs really to be created. If it stops right now, before even reaching the full capacity of the program, it's a half-done job. So it's all about negotiations. This is why we have Chris Voss as an FBI negotiator. Maybe he should consult your government how to negotiate with the government.
You can help a lot. What we see here on forum, you can help a lot.
We're trying. I think that we're giving a lot of tools and information to the media about the positive impact of this industry. Just the panel before me was with the Deputy Prime Minister of St. Lucia. This is a program we launched in 2015 at our forum. And 7 years later, the country is fighting for it because they have seen the difference over 7 years. Hundreds of millions of dollars that have been poured into the country, and they don't want to lose it. So Montenegro is just that they haven't seen the full potential yet, and this is why they're questioning, and they should be fighting more.
As you said, you have a business connection with Montenegro many years. How does Montenegro look to you now?
Well, first I visited in 2010. So the first time Montenegro decided to do that program was in August 2010. So 1st of September I was in Montenegro. I have seen many change of leadership and ideas because they wanted to do it and they didn't do it and they wanted to do it. And so we've been very persistent in Montenegro. I believe it's a very special destination for me in Europe. It's a well-hidden jewel, as we call it. That has to be carefully protected in order. So I'm an optimist. I believe that the country has a lot of potential, and we hope to contribute in any way possible to the success of your country.
When you will come again in Montenegro?
I come every 4 or 5 months, so I'm happy to see you again there and see the progress in the development. We have an office and our team is there in constant communication with the agency of citizenship, with the government, and we collaborate a lot on the efforts done in Brussels in order to defend the interests and protect the interests of Montenegro and the industry.
And you made also some great philanthropic projects.
We are trying. As I said, our forum always gather at the end from our event a certain amount of money that contributes to different projects and charities. So this year focus is going to be, of course, on the UNHCR as a partner for the Ukrainian refugee crisis and the money that it's needed for their adaptation in European countries. And the other half will be going for the Ricky Martin Foundation in Puerto Rico, which is also taking care of the unprivileged kids in Puerto Rico. Small island, but also affected by climate change, hurricanes, and our global citizen tax idea, which is to tax actually every immigrant investor in the program in Montenegro or in the Caribbean with a tax that is going to go specifically for refugee programs of the European Union. Actually, it's taking place now as a recommendation of the Parliament, so the Commission is evaluating the possibility that if countries are allowed to do programs for residency or citizenship, certain tax have to be paid by these programs to a fund for refugees in Europe. So that's an idea we launched in 2015 with Kofi Annan, the late Kofi Annan and Mr. Barroso, and 7 years later it's part of the recommendations of the Parliament, so we're very happy.
I wish you success with this great idea and see you in Montenegro.
Important is to make the ideas into action, so thank you.
Elena Jončeva poslanica je Evropskog parlamenta u kojem pripada grupi levičarskih partija. Političkom karijerom zamenila je novinarsku, tokom koje je bila ratna reporterka od Kosova do Iraka i Somalije. Na Global Citizen forumu podelila je svoja iskustva sa izbjegličkim krizama, a jedna je u toku u Evropi. Za TV E govori o šansama Crne Gore da postane 28. članica Evropske unije, ali i šansama evropske levice da se konsoliduje.
Madam Jončeva, you are part of Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats in the European Parliament. What is happening with socialist idea in Europe today? The right, the far right, is on rise.
Well, we are trying to keep the balance between with them and us. I think in the European In the Commission, we are 50-50. And in the European Parliament, if you can see as a force, the Social Democrat is the first force. So we are still leading the European policy. Still.
This is the key question, the key word.
Well, still it means yes. That's the second question: to what direction is going the S&D, the Social Democrats? So Social Democrats, they're very, very big family. So we'll see. Some countries, their left political parties are rising, and in some others, we can see they're going down, like in Italy.
Is there any common idea for leftists?
Well, the most common idea is the social responsibility, the solidarity. How do we respond also to this? Because it's one of the fields I'm working of the asylum policy. Because now, for the moment, the countries that are outside of the European border, they are more responsible for this asylum policy, and they're taking the burden of this policy. So what we want to create, it's part of the S&D policy as well, is to have more responsibility inside the European Union.
Let's talk about some regional initiatives on or for Western Balkans. We have Open Balkans, but we saw some protests in Tirana. We have some problems in these initiatives. On the other side, we have a Berlin process, and they have some results. How to manage that regional initiatives be something to push the region to EU, not to be something to switch member in EU?
Well, I think we should be probably more pragmatic and to give the possibility to the business sector, the economy, to cooperate with the neighboring countries. I think this path, if you follow, is the best advocacy for any further political decisions. When people are getting closer to each other, and the economy, the business is one of the most powerful tools, then they start to know each other. When we know each other, we start to be less afraid of each other, and maybe then we are going to achieve better political results.
Yeah, but you probably heard some critics about Open Balkans and dilemmas with this initiative. Do you familiar with the critics about Open Balkans? What is your opinion?
Yes, I'm familiar, but we should not be afraid of politicians who are taking some extreme views and expressing some extreme views. There will be always such people, such position. The most important is to talk about this and to give force to the people who are defending the democratic position to win. I think Montenegro should be part of the big European community, and I can see it's a big struggle, but as a deputy and member of S&D, I was always voting and making campaign for Montenegro to be part of the European Union. I think we need to help each other. Of course, we have all our own problems, even Bulgaria. We are inside of the European Union since 2007, but we have many problems that we need to resolve. So I believe that the problems that has Montenegro, being in the European Union, we are going to help to cope better with all those issues, all the challenges.
Let's talk about economic citizenship. It is a hot topic in EU and in Montenegro.
Yes.
What is your opinion about economic citizenship? Is it good or not?
I think it's good. More closer people in every aspect of their life, economy, culture, whatsoever. It's something positive. I can't see even if you are trying to be very pragmatic, I don't see why we should be critical.
And my last question: you studied in Moscow, am I right? Yes.
In London.
And in London, yeah. But my question is about official
Yes.
Kremlin
Yes.
politics. How you see what's going on in Russia?
Well, my answer will be more like as a journalist. I've been a journalist for the last 20 years, covering war zones, starting with Kosovo, Afghanistan during the Taliban's time, Iraq, Syria, Somalia. So I think European Union, we lost a lot of time. And Mr. Borrell said this in an interview for a French television. We lost the last 7-8 years to push the process in Ukraine. I'm speaking about Minsk agreement. And I think Europe lost this window of opportunity because France and Germany were a guarantee for this Minsk agreement. And I don't think we did enough for this. So war, it's not a solution for anything. So war, who is suffering from war? It's ordinary people are suffering because the politician in one stage, they will sit on the table of negotiation. And this will be sooner or later. But it's better that it's sooner, of course. But what I believe, we need, Europe should be more proactive in order to find a peaceful solution, to start to be a mediator in this conflict, if it's possible.
How far we are from that point?
It seems we are very far, because we are giving this possibility to other countries, and Turkey, for instance, who started to be mediator in this process, some other countries as well. But Europe is just observing and doing nothing proactively. And this is very scaring, I think.
Richard Quest, zvezda je američke televizijske mreže CNN. Moderirao je razgovore ovogodišnjeg Global Citizen foruma. Činio je to sa dosta strasti i znanja, što ga odlikuje i dok radi emisije o biznisu i putovanjima u matičnoj kući. Govoreći za TV E, podelio je sa nama svoje gotovo filmsko iskustvo iz Crne Gore.
We are witnessing the whole world metamorphosis. It is the hard word. The main topic of this global forum is how to step into the chaos. Something new is rising from this chaos.
Yes,
Can you predict what?
No, I think that, well, it's always dangerous to predict anything. But I think the crucial point is that I'm getting from this conference is that change is an inside job. Change is about ourselves. Now, we can look around the world and say, this is awful, this is dreadful, this is a disaster. But at the end of the day, most of us are powerless to change those macro events, those macro geopolitical events, unless you happen to be a world leader, by the way. But we are powerful to change ourselves. And I think what is interesting about this conference and what makes it different is this focus on small change within ourselves will have wider change that will benefit all.
Do you change yourself?
It's a question I ask myself frequently. The answer is no. Not enough. But then that prompts the search for what is going to drive the change. Does it have to be at the point of pain and crisis? If I look at the changes I have made in my life, what desperation drove me to do them? But if I say to you, stop eating chocolate, it's not good for you, you won't do it. If I say to you, you've got diabetes, you might now start to think about changing. I always remember a headmaster of mine when I was at primary school saying, there are two ways to learn. You can learn by somebody telling you, or you can learn by experience. He said, I guarantee most of you will only learn by experience because you will never take what people say.
Is it your experience?
Oh, yes, absolutely. If I tell you the kettle is hot, you'll still want to touch it to make sure.
Deepak Chopra told me yesterday exactly the same thing.
Yeah, we're programmed not to believe in many ways. We're programmed not to have the faith necessary. Whether it's, when I say programmed, I mean through life and experiences. I don't think babies are, and I think it comes from us as we go through life.
So believes is the key word.
Faith. Faith.
What is the difference
between
believes and faith?
Believe is a belief in something. Faith is putting your trust in something. Belief is, I believe in what's happening. Faith is one stage deeper. Now, it doesn't have to be religious. You know, faith has got a bad name because people associate faith with religiosity.
Yeah,
it's not that.
theology or something.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
it's not. It is, faith can be in anything, but it's the belief and the faith that will be okay.
And from the end of this discussion, something completely different.
Yeah, sure.
You have insane amount, a collection of different informations about various destinations in the world. So I will try to challenge you a bit, okay?
Go on.
Do you know where is the one of the latest rainforest in Europe?
You're going to tell me.
Yes, I will. At the end, I will help you. It is the same country where is the second deepest river canyon in the world.
A canyon that I have flown along in a helicopter.
Really?
Absolutely.
When?
A few years ago. I was terrified, absolutely terrified, because it's so deep. You fly beneath the two sides of the canyon. And I was terrified that the rotors were going to hit either side of the canyon, which of course was ridiculous since it was a long way away. And then the fog came in. The mist.
Are we talking about Colorado or about Tara River Canyon?
Which Colorado? Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about Tara River.
And the mist came in, or the low cloud came in. And then we had to, I thought, well, this is it. It's over. I'm done.
But you're still here.
I'm done. And all he did, the pilot, was he went up and he said, we will just have to hover long enough for the cloud to pass. And sure enough, the cloud passed. We continued all the way to the lake.
Great story. I'm talking about Montenegro.
And so am I. So I've been there. I've been there.
When you will come to Montenegro again?
When I'm invited.
I'm inviting you. You are very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Christopher Voss više od 20 godina bio je vodeći pregovarač FBI-a tokom talačkih kriza od New Yorka do Iraka. Danas je profesor na više univerziteta, uključujući Harvard. Za TV E govorio je o tome koliko je važno znati postaviti pitanje, kao i da li je važnije znati slušati ljude.
Well, you need information. Now, you don't always get information best by asking. So you always want information. How do you get the other person to talk? So negotiator, yeah, I definitely want the other person to talk. But sometimes asking a question makes people defensive, uneasy. It diminishes rapport. I need to learn how to get information out of you without asking any questions at all. And that's what a great negotiator does. You don't even know I'm asking.
Yeah. So I guess that knowing to listen is more important than know how to question.
Yes, because then it helps you understand what kind of question or what kind of information you need. Listening is the first part.
What you can conclude about a person, let's say in 5 or 15 minutes, about body, about mind, about soul. And could you rank 3 of this?
Interesting. It depends upon how I've approached them. Like if I'm really genuinely trying to find out about you, and that question that I talked about in my presentation, what do you love about what you do for a living? I mean, that's going to tell me a lot about you very, very quickly. It's going to tell me what you love, which also defines for me what you hate or what you dislike, because it's the opposite of that. So I can learn about you very, very quickly, and your reaction to the question at all is going to tell me a lot about you also. So I'm going to look at the combination of what you say and how you say it to figure that out.
Podelio je sa nama i iskustvo o tome kako prevazići ljutnju i kako oprostiti sebi i drugima.
I work most on forgiving myself for being too hard on other people. And for me, then, really the next step, if I'm mad at somebody, if I feel somebody's wronged me, if my mother or my father inadvertently did something when I was younger that still bothers me, I haven't forgiven them. And actually the next step for me personally after that is to be grateful. There's a forgiveness and gratitude. I'm very happy with who I am, but I found that I can't let something go completely until I say to myself, I'm grateful it happened. Because I learned from it. That's a harder step. So for me, forgiveness is a 2-step process. Forgiveness and then gratitude.
Odgovorio je na pitanje šta smatra da je najvažnije, a šta najvrednije što je naučio tokom karijere.
There's always a team on the other side. No matter who you're talking to, no matter what you're talking to them about, if you're negotiating with them, and you should be negotiating with them and not against them, but they always have people that influence them, that matter to them, they're going to affect their decision. No one single person is ever the decision maker. So if I understand that there are people that are important to you, that matter to you, I may say something to you like, sounds like they're people that are going to be affected by your decision. That's going to give me the information I need. And I didn't ask you a question. I got the information out of you by triggering your response with what me and my company, the Black Swan Group, would call a label. But it's a very specifically designed label to get the information.
This is most important or most valuable?
You know, most important or most valuable? That's a tough question. What's the difference between importance and value? It's almost like beauty, isn't it? It's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. So, in your eyes?
I'd say valuable. Yeah. But to me, what's valuable? Great relationships are valuable.
Objasnio nam je i na koji način se nosi sa očekivanjima drugih ljudi.
I think that's the challenge of every human being alive. And what it really is there's a part of our brain that works against us called the amygdala. Most people have heard of the amygdala. There's even a book out there, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F word. That's all about releasing ourselves from the expectations of others. And if you're a human being, you struggle with that on a daily basis. I struggle with that on a daily basis because that part of my brain is constantly kicking into gear because it's part of our survival mindset, our default mindset. So yes, I have problems with worrying about other people's expectations and deactivating that fear from my brain. How do I deal with it? I ask myself, what does my gut tell me? And if you can switch your thinking from your head to your gut instinct is very, very good and doesn't work against you. It helps you. And often all I do is I say to myself, what's my gut tell me?
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Suad Al-Shamsi prva je avioinženjerka u Emiratima. Diplomirala je u Britaniji, usavršavala se u najvećim svetskim aviokompanijama i potom se vratila kući. U zemlji velikih projekata ona upravlja jednim takvim u avioindustriji za nacionalnu aviokompaniju. Predaje i na fakultetu, ali kada govori o svojim najvećim uspesima, kaže da je svoje sinove naučila da budu pažljivi i osjećajni ljudi. Od svih inspirativnih govornika na ovogodišnjem Global Citizen forumu, ona je po izboru ekipe TV E bila najinspirativnija. Evo i zašto.
How and when you decided to pursue aviation engineering?
It's actually 22 years when I decided to change the image of not only the Arab or Emirati woman, all the women, that the parents always or the society choose for her what she can be or she cannot. And I hated the way they are saying you cannot be in aviation industry, you cannot be in engineering field, you cannot. I wanted to show the world that if you can dream it, you can do it, you can achieve it, you can be whatever you want. In a way, again, you can success in this field. Field is dominated by male, and from 22 years, I love to play with aeroplane, cars, I like fixing. And I notice it's my passion all in engineering, not in the normal, boring office. So I entered in the field, and until today, I'm passionate about my field.
You cannot be what you cannot see. That is some American phrase.
But you can feel it, you can imagine it. Today when I imagine the aircraft, how I work under the aircraft in such field, and now when I'm near to the aircraft, because I said my first husband is the airplane, and when I work under the airplane, I can imagine, you can dream it, you can achieve it, you can feel it, and even imagine it and reach and success in this field. It doesn't matter. It's not only aviation, in any field. If you want to be fashion designer, artist, Be what you want. God created us to be a human and choose our path. In the end, we continue to be what we are.
You told me a great story about your sons.
Yes. My son, I teaching him how to respect women, because when we are talking about gender equality and mind the gap between male and female, and always we are teaching the parents how to educate the daughter, we need to educate as well your son. I tell him how to respect his teacher, his colleague, and I teach him how to understand. Sometimes if your teacher entered to the class, she said she's passing through a difficulty. So yesterday the teacher called me and she told me she's passing through a personal issue. And my son, he gave her a flower. So I call him Yusuf, and in English Joseph, like, how you know that your miss is passing through a difficulty? And he said, I miss her smile, she's sad, and you're teaching me how to read people's face. And this is what we needed, how to be human and understand and support each other. We need to connect more than just me, it's the life, it's about me. It's about connecting. The life is huge. God created this world and this earth, a lot of opportunity. And the most important, I keep reminding us, we are a human. We need, as if I make you smiling, tomorrow someone will make me smile. And this is what we need right now.
It is a message for every single person in the planet. But my message is, what would be your message to any girl who dare to dream her dreams?
To be confident, to fight for her dream. People surround you will try to make you down. You will fail once or twice. For me, it's taken me more than 2 years to reach to my dream, to study actually. No one believed in my dream. Everyone thought it's just a dream. Today when I see myself who actually were against me, they want my number, they want to take picture with me, they want to be their daughter to be part of like my field. Any girl, wherever your color, whatever your religion, wherever you look, whatever your background, believe in yourself. People, God created them with ability, with a skill. People choose to be stupid and people choose to be smart. No one actually wants to be stupid. You choose. You want to be success, you want to get into your dream and success in your life, or you want to be a normal person. It's your choice. If you have confidence and faith in yourself, you will be one of the icons in the world and the earth. It's not about today I want to be like Suad or I want to be another person. Everyone born to be unique.
You clearly pushing the borders. Is that a brave or something else?
I can say a brave, but I can say more it's a faith. I have this faith in my heart that, yes, God, He gave me this braveness to be different. And I believe that I can create something in this world, because to help others, it's the most important. You can reach to a position, you be a lot of title, you can gain it. But the most important, when someone come and say, you support me, you help me, you be a role model for my daughter or my sister, you know that you are in the right path. And to enter to such a field, yes, you need a lot of patience, a lot of brave and power. But I think the changes, the mentality, it changed. The people start accepting. But the most important, we need to keep the door open for the other, not to close. And this is what I say. We need to communicate and connect more and have this awareness. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Završavajući izveštaj sa ovogodišnjeg Global Citizen foruma, podsjećamo vas na najvažnije poruke. Da bismo promenili sve ono što želimo i ono što treba menjati, prvi korak je u tome da menjamo sebe, na način da budemo dobri i sretni. Ako nekome danas učinite dan boljim, sutra će neko izmamiti osmeh vama.